bateman was bleeping at me on the way home yesterday. It needs AdBlue, so I'm going to fill it up with AdBlue for the first time. I think it's 1 tank of AdBlue to 3 tanks of diesel. Oh, it's cable tied up, so I can't open it yet. Bit of a queue for the watering hole. I've put AdBlue in, but I need diesel as well. I've just parked next to that telegraph pole there, and then or electric pole, and parked next to this one with the end of the boom just touching it, and then I'm putting an AB line in now. Well, I put an AB line in, so now when I spray this field as I drive along, if you watch in a second, you'll see the boom should just kiss the pole, flick back, look, flick back a bit, then go around it, and then that way then all the weeds around the bottom of the poles will be dead, and then I'll keep these tram lines in this place forever then. So I've turned around now, I'm going the opposite way up the field, so I'm going that way before I went that way. Then hopefully this should now just not quite touch. There we go, perfect. This field was wheat last year, and the pigeons had come off the telegraph wires, what they call it, electric poles, and knocked some of the wheat flat, so knocked some of it on the floor, it started growing. This is now going to be barley, so we've left it as long as we can. Some of the rest of the barley was sown the other week, and obviously that's up now. So we dished it lightly to try, we sumoed it because this had spuds on it, it hadn't quite recovered. So we sumoed it. The wheat's now started to grow, but I was hoping we could have just gone straight into it, but it's a little bit rough. So we dished the headlands. Anyway, I've decided now that we're going to have to dish the rest of it level, get it right, because the headlands are pretty flat. We've got another chit on the headlands as well, actually. So we killed some with the discs, knocked them down, but the rest still a bit, like, I don't know, nearly there. So we'll get them sprayed off, and hopefully it should be all right. And get the middle level, spray it with barley tomorrow. Sam's just finished wheat for the time being. Dropped the wheat out the drill. Well, in fact, we've finished wheat completely now until we dig the potatoes out the way. Just drop the wheat out the drill now. Got to fill it up with barley. I'm going to drill this field. I might try and set a time-lapse camera up on this field because it's only 7 or 8 acres. So, but it looks drilling it. Seed socks are so handy. He obviously, like, in the middle of the field, was able to drop the seed out the drill on his own. That's what's left. We'll lift that up now, put it on the trailer or put it in another bag, and then he's going to drill this field with barley. I've just put the loops on the Merlot now, and I'll lift it up, dump it on the trailer out the way. Dead simple. Available now to order from Spalding's. Turn the handbrake off. Put this on the trailer now, move the Merlot out the way, and then, like I say, I'll try and put a time-lapse camera on for drilling this field, and we'll see what it looks like. I hope that camera's working on there, because I can't see the screen the way I've had to do it. Oop, the tractor's just scratching a little bit there, coming up the hill. It's a little bit damp just on this bit here. Probably better with a weight block on maybe for the uphill. That's the steepest hill we've got on the farm line. Sam's leaving Nate to strip round the outside. So we're getting a bit closer. The fields are getting smaller. Yeah, maybe put the weight block on for stuff like that. When we spray this field, you literally go around the outside and once down the middle. So for the drill now, you'll have to go round 3 times and then up and down 3 times in the middle, and it'll be done. So, just slotting in barley now, so hopefully you should see some barley seed. There you go. That'll be up and away in this warm weather now, because it's nice and warm. Nice and moist as well. Also, you know, we were looking for a stone trailer. Well, managed to find one. It's a dead cheap one on eBay. So I'm going to try and pick it up this afternoon. Anyway, long story short, we've not got time. So we're going to pick it up in the morning. And needs a little bit of work, do it, some hydraulic pipes, PTO shaft guards, things like that. And it needs a good painting, but we'll see. We'll get it back. We'll see if it works okay. And if it does, over winter, we'll do it up and repaint it and different things. But we'll just get it for now as a project. This is the field that has just been drilled with wheat, so this is after oilseed rape. So I sprayed it last night We've now stitched in the wheat. Hopefully, sort of 6 to 7 days, we'll see the green of the oilseed rape die back, and then we'll see green stripes of the wheat coming up through it. You can see at the edge where we just dished round where the hedge cutter had been up and down, it had like compacted the top inch, so we just loosened it with the disc. But you can hardly tell the field's being sown really. Just following the drill now. You see it individually flexing over the different contours of the ground. Slotting the seed in, little roller on the back, patting it down. It's got phenomenal output, that drill. Just yesterday afternoon, it did 100 acres in an afternoon. It's just brilliant. We've had like an easy season as well, but if it was a difficult season, them afternoons that you can snatch 100 acres in are invaluable. In cab. We'll put the drill speed on to show people. What happened then? Chronic failure, it says. Why is it saying a meter is this? I've got going around. Oh no, that's number 1, yeah. 1, 2. Not a lot left of this field now, just a bit in the middle. That's the only problem with this drill in this field, because it's so wide, it's quite a big overlap, isn't it? Yeah. Got my phone off the boom, done a time lapse. But because the field doesn't change colour, it's not that interesting, but the clouds look quite powerful moving over the top. If we'd have been combining, ploughing or mowing or something that was changing the colour of the landscape like the field, it'd look really good on a time lapse, but you just see the tractor just sort of like buzzing around the field like a fly round something, and then obviously it's sown afterwards. Something for the John Deere fans. Adams Grizzly weight blocky pump, I think. Had a slight hitch with the boiler, that fan had tripped out and it had quite a bit of fluff stuck to it, so I'm hoping now I've took that off the mesh, should be alright now. Look how much water's in the atmosphere that the compressor's collected on the boiler. And I've just drained the water out of the compressor as well. You won't believe how much was in it. Forgot to do it for quite a bit, but it's been busy harvesting. Had the grain dryer trip off. Anyway, luckily it did, because the plug had nearly gone on fire and the wires had melted. So I think that's the second time it's burned a plug out. So we thought it was a faulty plug anyway. We think it might just not be up to it. So we're probably going to hardwire that in. But that's where I had a thermal imaging camera. And the thermal imaging camera was really good. It plugged in the bottom of my phone and it was good at watching electrics and stuff to see if there's any heat problems with them all. But it's not working on this camera at the moment. It needs to update the software. Hope you can see on the camera, but there's little green lines in it now. This has been sown 10 days. You can look that way, maybe you can see better. No, probably worse that way. Let's go into the middle of the field and look. You see it there on the headland going that way, and then this is up and down the field. It goes the opposite direction. So it's nice to see, because it's now going to go green from wheat, which is what we can harvest. And the weed is now dying off yellow. So there we go. Nice rows there. We did just have to scare some crows off it though this morning, and some pigeons that would be going along, and they basically pull it out and eat the juicy bit at the bottom. So keep an eye on it, but not bad after 10 days. This is one of the fields where we had an issue with the drill not putting the pressure on. So this is a wheeling off the combine or an old tram line, and it's a bit bare on it, to be honest, which is a bit worrying, because where it's not compacted it's fine. There's Richard on his way to the hills with some straw. On the Churry Red Massey. Quick quiz question on the fast track. Does anyone know what that is? If you think you know, leave a comment below. Quick happy birthday to Tom Wellesby and Owen Hume. It's probably about it for today now. Chip is still running in the background. I've got something else to do now, so I'm going to call it a day for today. If you want to watch another video, it's over there. If you want to subscribe, it's over here. Did anyone notice anything in the Bateman window this morning? If you did, leave a comment below.